So we were talking about your recent little injury there on your left shoulder, and how we could heal ourselves just by listening to the body's wisdom and not signing into the MRI and all the so-called necessary doctor services that are bankrupting us.
Oh, well, that's a whole another topic of conversation. Hello, Kelly. Hi, Jack. Hey, Trev. Okay. Yeah, yeah. All right. Jolene, Bob. Okay. Okay, so I feel a little pain. I'm gonna feel pain if I lay in the bed. I don't feel pain if I walk outside. So do the live anyway. Because as you've seen, I got an appointment scheduled for tomorrow. All the things that I've been through in life, what is a little pain? Okay. It is what it is. Okay. And when this melts, I'll just put some more on there. Okay. So what has happened here, with the fall, when you fall like that, your body jars and it reacts accordingly. Okay. It says something's off kilter. What did you do here? You messed something up. Yeah, I fell. Okay. So this has to do with the nerves. Okay. And it turns into sciatica. Okay. So whatever I'm doing, it's just going to ache all day and night. Okay. I don't usually take pills. Okay. But I took 2 ibuprofen. So I'm in pain. Okay. I'm like, okay, I try to block it out and think of something else pleasant instead. Okay. And sometimes it helps to stand up. Okay. But I've fallen so many times, you don't lay down there in misery. You got to get up. Okay. You got to get up and get it done regardless. Okay. Regardless of the pain you feel. Okay. If you lay down there long enough, you're going to feel more pain than that. Okay. So get up off the floor, dust yourself off and say, hey, what's my next step? It's real simple, isn't it? Isn't it real simple?
I found in those circumstances the greatest pain was my mind freaking out about all the things that it was creating that could happen, and it was just making the suffering much more worse than it had to be, and just finally seeing through the charade of those thoughts that they were just thoughts that were creating this horrible future. And if I just actually felt the pain, it was completely okay.
Okay. And I know in an hour or so, I'm gonna have to walk them dogs. Do you think they care about the pain that I'm suffering from right now? No. Neither does their bladder. So I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna figure it out. Okay. Those pills didn't work. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, I still take them out. And I'm gonna do it gently, as gently as I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we have to do with every challenge and adversity we face in life. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, we listen to the body's wisdom instead of believing the story that's constructed that we learned. Like, for instance, all the energy that flows through us, and when we're children, create different sensations. Of course, we don't know what's happening, and if you grow up without any a parent that understands that you're just going through something natural, we tend to think that this is a horrible thing to feel a surge of energy to protect ourselves. And we're taught that no, you can't be loud, or you can't ask for the help that you need with this pain. Because I was always told when I was in pain, just get over it. Just get over it. Just be a man, and all this stuff. So you learn to silence. You just silence that wisdom, and so you forget that you have your doctor inside if you just want to listen to the wisdom that your body is attuned to.
Okay. You say I feel pain. I'm telling myself otherwise. I don't feel no pain. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you're feeling pain right now. Yeah.
Well, those 2 ibuprofens I took must have kicked in, and I'll take. Okay. And there we are today. You know, we had started off a conversation and we didn't even introduce you. I'm sorry. Yeah. We have mutual connections, okay? And one of them being Dr. Megan, the other one being Lamar, Netta Faye. I probably left out some names, but that is the rule of the game. You make these connections, you see the interconnections in between. This is because I worked for the military 39 years. So we sit there, we have our plan. We put out our plan on the table. Okay, who has the south side? Okay, if we don't have anybody over there, who do we know over there? And who can we become friends with? Okay? And then we connect to the south side. Okay? All right. This is our connection on the north side. What about this side? It's all about connections. Okay? Yes. So, but before you done, we got all territories covered. Okay? I don't care who you are or what you do. Okay? This is the smart way to do it. You know, that's what I'm all about, diversity and inclusion. We work smarter together. We get more accomplished together. Only small-minded people don't realize that. And those are the people that we don't need as a part of our team. Especially if you don't catch on real quick, then we'll leave you on the sidelines until you figure out the rules of the game.
Yeah, and part of the major rule is to override. I have to override my initial impressions that I'm taught to how to describe people. Like I'm looking for certain people that have like a certain look or money, or they're showing the performance. And but the people I really connect with, I have to get beyond that performance image that I think I'm looking for, and see what resonates in me. And it's surprising who you resonate with. It's, well, I don't, I everything about her is just totally different, but there's something in me that when she speaks, I feel like I'm home. And listening to you, I feel like, yeah, I'm home here. And there it's just the basic exercise here of presence. Just to introduce this idea, is that our minds are preoccupied. And when we look at the ocean, we get fascinated by the movement of the waves and how they splash on the shore and all those moment by moment changes. But we can go down underneath those waves, the moving of our mind, and we can get into that deep stillness that connects us all, because we're there. We're all connected in that ocean. And it's the marvel of Substack that right here, it's totally flabbergasting to me that here we can be thousands of miles apart and we can connect heart to heart authentically. I'm not fooling myself. It's like, wow, okay, I want to sit and listen to this person, because there's the universe is like flirting with us all the time. It's saying, my beloved, look at this wonderful thing that you can become. You can become a more fulfilled in your relationships with people. The things that you want that you don't know how to get, and you've always been failing to get because you believe the formulas that don't work. And so you risk accepting the invitation that says, Randolph. It points out this one, love this one now. And I just feel my heart open up to their needs. And I can be generous the way that a man loves to be, especially with women, and do it in a way. And in doing it this way, I'm not trying to extract something in my giving from her, like we've been taught as men. We're taught that we give something, but we want the sex or the emotional support or any of the other things that we we extract from women in order to, yeah, it's such a horrible process that we've learned to do, but it's so wonderful to get free of that and to be able to be generous without any expectation. And it works so well for everybody. I mean, this is the love that we wanted to get, that we were conned into believing that if we played the performance game of appearing a certain way, of appearing wealthy, to get the degree, to look a certain way, to have my hair manicured a certain way, get the right glasses, drive the right car, promise her the right things, all because we thought we were going to get what was going to complete us. But
Mm.
because we're born with these wounds that, these emptinesses of our parents that who weren't able to give us what we really needed as kids. So we're always looking for it from the woman. And so we're destroying each other's lives, trying to get something. We're outsourcing, thinking that somebody else can give us a thing that is going to make us feel good. But what makes us feel good is, yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
How long did it take us to figure that out? Okay,
Uh,
I was stubborn. Okay, when I got tired hitting my head against that brick wall over there and realized, damn, okay, that's why I got a headache. Then he's like, wake the hell up and do something different. If you keep getting the same results over and over again, that's insanity,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So, talk to us about your journey. You know, and then what made you come to Substack?
Yeah, yeah. It's the Buddhists have a word for, I was thinking you would ask me this, and I was thinking, well, what would you call my life's path? And the Buddhists call it the path of the Bodhisattva, Bodhisattv. And basically, you're wandering around the world with no destination except to be able to be in alignment with where you are and who needs your help in the moment. And I was actually born on the road 73 years ago. My father and mother were in the government. He was a map maker, and the Geological Survey would move him to two different places every year. So for the first 10 years of my life, I lived in two different places in the West. And generally that was out in the rural areas. And so I had the entire West as my playground, wherever he pulled, we lived in a small trailer, my sister and parents for those first 10 years. And in those days, during the 50s, when I wasn't in school, they just opened the door and I just ran out into the woods or the river or whatever. And so those are my first playmates. But unfortunately, I didn't have a whole lot of interaction with people. So I tend to be kind of isolated. And even so, but their dream was to move to the suburbs. So they moved into Las Vegas, Nevada, bought a house, and in 5 years, their marriage just blew up. And so at the age of 16, it was the mid 60s. And that was the time when young people were moving around all over the US on their thumb. So for the next 7 years, I traveled on my thumb, uh, just around the country. And I did a couple cross country bike trips. And I also did a stint in the Coast Guard during the Vietnam War era, where I was on a small ship going up and down the east and west coast. So I'm moving around, and in all those movements, I ran into a teacher that was teaching in Southern Nevada, the information about a teacher in Southern Nevada who was studying a certain aspect of New Age spirituality. It's called the Fourth Way. Gurdjieff and Uspensky, Nicole were some of the major writers, but it was kind of a panoply of spiritual teachers that this particular teacher had in 76 in Southern Nevada. And it started out as a small group, but within 15 years, it became a cult. It had become a cult. And I did not know that, but I was being groomed into being part of the cult, even though we started out with great intentions. And I did learn some first lessons in meditation, for instance. But thankfully, the leader of the cult died in '92, and otherwise, I'd probably still be there. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. But uh, and so I went out looking for another teaching, and I found one in Southern Oregon, and it turned out that one of the students that came to the 160-acre retreat place in Southern Oregon, um, we hit it off really well, and we were caretakers for the property, and we ended up being married and having 3 children. And when the second child announced itself in the late '90s, I knew I couldn't just do my handyman stuff day to day, so I got into trucking. And as a long haul truck driver, I was able to pay the bills, but it destroyed our marriage. So I've been able to be fiscally providing, but I haven't done the major work of providing the father for my children, which is part of my work now, to learn the steps that I need to do to make that happen. And I'm getting to Dr. Rokel here because she's really intimate with this whole thing. Uh, Being on the road the last 25 years, I've had all this time to study the authentic history, not the mythology of America, the the sciences that of just how the world works, and real psychologies. And when COVID hit and we had the Zoom connections, I started to find other teachers, and I my first mentorship with an actual goddess. I would have to call her a goddess. She was quite generous in providing me the teachings and the music and the poetry and all these beautiful things she opened up my life to that I didn't know about. And she was the first really deep friend like that. Um, and then I encountered Dr. Rokel about a year ago, and her somatic meditation made the meditation thing. I'd been doing it for 50 years, but it never clicked with me what we're doing in that meditation. Is connecting with this witnessing awareness, what we call it, the sea underneath, right? The sea underneath the waves that connects us all. And the first time I did that with her, it was like bingo. It's just, this is what it's about. So I was connected first that way, and then she started, I think in January and February on Substack, she started promoting her vision of the non-monetized matriarchy. And she's so brilliant in her presentations of the fundamentals of that vision. And I fell in love with that idea because I could see how when the male and female are in right alignment with their proper roles with each other, then the systems that have ruined us as men and women, that have confined women and men in these very narrow roles of what is proper to be, then the world will flourish. And it's been a remarkable help for me get more rightly connected with my children and their mother. So I don't know where that's going, but I know the process of what I need to do, which is to follow what is presented me to do. So it's a beautiful process. That's how I got here.
All right, it was not by chance, okay? All
Yeah.
the people all the people that God brings into our lives is for a reason. It may be a season, okay, but take it anyway because it's a gift. It's a gift from it's a gift from God, okay. It says it's unstable, but okay, a lot of things in life are unstable. We're gonna move on anyway. Okay. Okay, Alexei, or whatever he said. Blavatsky had fourth doctrine. I know you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I think she was the founder of the Christian Science, wasn't she? Which is a different.
I have no idea.
I think he's referring to a different. It's just a different manifestation of the whole. At the same time, I think she was in the late 1800s, and Gurdjieff and Uspensky were in that same time period of the
Okay.
flowering of a new age. What see the This was the Western civilization was so entrenched in the Christian doctrine, the patriarchy and the hierarchy of the Catholic Church, and this was some of our first attempts to bring back the mysticism that we have lost. Which reminds me, this Substack is just so wonderful because there's one of my favorite places is Virgin Monk Boy, who is rediscovering Mary Magdalene and her central position in the um, in the rise of Christianity. She's been written out of the Bible, written out of all the Christian teaching, but she was the heart, and she was part of Christ that has been taken out because of the patriarchy. And he's devoted his life to re-educating us about her central position in that, which is really intimately connected with how we've been separated as men into this confined role of what it means to be a father. But there's a whole element of Mary within us, the supportive part that that this writer is helping us get in contact with.
The whole situation with that situation was power and control. How can we gain the power and control over the people to get what we need, to get our wants met? They weren't concerned about the people,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
And so they used the religion, the Bible, to do that. Okay, this is what you must do. You must tithe to the church. You must do this. You must do this to satisfy our needs.
Yeah.
And then people come up and ask, "Where's the grain that you promised?" Okay, we have to feed our families. Okay, you said you wanted the money. Okay, that you needed this money. Now I need my needs met. Oh, we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I just read a neat quote on that. He said, "Isn't it ironical that when the church has needs, they come asking us for money, and then when
See
we
what I'm
go to the
saying?
church for our needs, they say pray." It's like,
Yeah.
is that how it
Okay.
works?
Okay. Since you went there, I'm going to go there too. Prayer without faith, without action, is nothing. I'm gonna use this as an example. They tell this story all the time. You sit there and you're in the middle of the ocean and you say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for God to come and help me." Okay, He sends a fisherman. Fishermen say, "Hey, you want to get in the boat?" He said, "No, no, I'm gonna sit here and wait for God to come and help me." Okay, he's like, "Okay, see you later, bye." So somebody else come along, okay, and say, "Hey, you want to ride?" He said, "No, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for God." Okay. Yeah. Then somebody else come, and then when he dies, and then he say, "Why you didn't help yourself?" He's like, "I sent all those people there for you. Oh, I was waiting for you." And that's people, because I'll ask somebody, "You want to do a collaboration?" That he and Hall, and they'll say no or something like that. I'll move on. I'm not gonna ask you twice. If I ask you once and you say he and Hall, bye.
Yeah.
I'm going on. My mission moves on. I don't wait for nobody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, I just
Period.
saw a wonderful clip of a movie from this. I forget. He's a famous actor. I forget his name. I'm slipping on his name now, but he was trying to get the idea across to a younger person who wanted to find love and patience and resilience.
Good luck with that.
And he said, well, here's the way you do it. He says, God is not going, if you want to have your family come together, he's not going to send warm, fuzzy feelings to everybody so that you all want to come together. He's going to provide you with obstacles, with challenges for you that you have to love through. So you're going to learn love by letting the love flow through you. And that brings the connection with you want. And the same thing with patience. He doesn't give you patience. He gives you a challenge where if you're going to succeed in that, you're going to have to be patient or you fail.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Okay? And they used to have a saying when I was growing up in the Baptist church. He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. And that's true. That is really true.
Yeah.
Okay? So I wanted something like yesterday. And he's like, no, you're gonna get it when I say you're gonna get it because you'll appreciate it more. Okay? You will. Savor the wait because it's worth the wait in the end. And that's what you need to remember. In the meantime, you preparing yourself to receive.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right?
Rilke, think a poet named Rilke, Rilke, has a nice line on this. He says, be patient with everything unsolved in your heart. And that's real concise. I mean, it implies that, first of all, you have to be in connection with your heart. And you have to go beyond your mind's rush and hurry that says that you need to solve this problem to be happy. So you have to, I love the teaching the way that Dr. Meg puts it. He says, see through the story that your mind is broadcasting right now and reside in your body, whatever's happening in it, just reside there. And so that's what Rilke is inviting is to just reside within your heart in spite of your mind's wish to be hurried. And then learn the next step and open yourself up to what the solution is. So, yeah.
I just wanted to bring about some correlations in our history. Okay, when you talked about USGS, okay, USGS, and I worked for the Army Corps of Engineers for 39 years. So the Corps of Engineers was part of that movement when you're talking about USGS. Okay. And putting in those survey markers because that's how they determine your property lines, okay? And all that connects to the GPS system, okay? So, like, that's how Google knows where you live, okay? Everything, okay? And all this was digitalized when I worked for the Corps of Engineers because I used to work on a survey vessel and we used to take the had transponders attached to the sides of the ship, the boat, and we would go out, they would go out and take all of these readings, okay? And they would know where the strikes are. Okay, and go and take all those strikes out because you can't have those ships coming through and getting damaged. Okay, because they're bringing uh, commerce, cars. They're bringing things in for us to survive, to maintain. Okay, and so when you talked about that, just brought tears to my eyes. Okay, and the things that you did and I did, and my daughter, she decided she wanted to be a truck driver. And so it just made me emotional. And she said, Margaret, I want to be a truck driver. And I'm like, okay. I gave her the money. She went to school. She's been on the road for, I don't know, 10, 12 years. It's something I could never do. That's the most dangerous job in the world, okay? She tells me how many accidents she's seen on the road.
Every day.
And thank God she has never gotten into an accident where she, something like that. Now she just called me today and said she thinks she got fired. I'm like, okay, well, I could have told you that. It's not surprising because the guy had fired her the first time because she had an accident. It wasn't her fault. She was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He don't care. He got to pay all this money out, so he gonna make her pay. He still got to pay anyway. If he fire her or keep her. And she said, oh, her friend got her back in that job. She talked the man into giving her job back. Then she told me, oh, well, I could have told you he was going to fire you the next time you have another accident, but I didn't want to bring you down. If she already down, she don't need me to slit her throat. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't say nothing, but I knew that was going to come, because the handwriting was already on the wall. If the man fired you once, what's stopping him from firing you again? You know how dangerous these roads and stuff is. You know that. It's just a matter of time. I told her, you need to start looking for another job, period. I don't know what to tell you other than that. Okay? I said, but you're going to get through this because you done came this far. She was driving that truck during, what you call that thing you just mentioned? 9/11. The COVID, okay?
Yeah.
And you couldn't get nothing through. The truck drivers was bringing everything in.
Yeah.
Okay? That shut just about everything else down. So, but she told me they kept working the whole time COVID was going on.
Yep,
And
we
I'm like,
did.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yes. And the thing I love about you guys is somebody on the road, another truck driver, they distressed, y'all get out, y'all go and help them. Y'all network and help each other. I love that. And I was always afraid for her being out there by herself. She's traveled the whole United States, okay, and never had any problems. Nobody never bothered her in any kind of way. That is the spirit protecting her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh God, when I seen her phone call, because I know if I get a phone call from her, it's something, tragic. I'm like, oh my God, I hope everything is okay. I'm like, I don't know if something happened to her. I said, well, she's close with my brother. I like, well, you tell him where all your information is and everything, and give him everything, and make sure you tell them who the next of kin is, because she real close with my brother, and that's between them two. I don't get into that. That's not my business. Okay, I do better saying less on that and moving on. Okay. Long as you taken care of, because I have a policy that I pay and keep on her too. Okay. Because I don't want to have to figure out how I'm going to pay for her burial if something ever happened. Okay. Because I know she's driving this truck, and the trucking company should be responsible for something if she dies in an accident, heaven forbid. Okay. And then you're talking about driving in the wintertime? Oh no, I don't even drive at night because what you call them damn things? Cataracts. They say, oh, you got cataracts, but they're not bad enough to do any surgery. I like good, but I don't drive at night because of that glare. I'm like, oh no, no.
Yeah. So
Don't drive at all.
has she found another company to drive for?
No, because I don't know how long this is me simmering. I wouldn't wait for the man to tell me I'm fired. I start looking for a job in the meantime. I
Yeah,
don't wait for the other shoe to fall. Okay?
she could get employed tomorrow for the company I drive for. And they have
Okay.
they drive all over the country, and it bought the smaller company I drove for 10 years ago, and they've been solid on the paychecks and the safety. They keep their trucks up really well, and they employ people of all different ages and diversities, and women and men. So she's not going to be alone. But I agree with the spirit of safety on the road is. I'm really. I mean, I've been on the road for a long time, and it's I. It's not like you're being watched, but the help comes out when it's needed. It's just I've seen it so often when somebody has an accident. I mean, people are really in an insane hurry, but when there's an accident, the people are there to help, and it works. That and our emergency services are excellent. It's amazing how fast they get to a place. So there's that. Um, so yeah, if she wants a recommendation on driving, if she's been in it for a decade, she's on it tomorrow.
Yeah, because I keep trying to get her to get out of it because she's getting older. Okay, she
Oh,
recently told she
yeah,
recently told me, "Oh, I got type 2 diabetes." I'm like, "You're gonna have that because you're sitting in that truck too day long." So I told her when you go to those truck stops, you got to take those breaks. I told her to do a couple of rounds around the parking lot. Walk
yeah,
every day, even
yeah,
if it's 5 minutes, because the
yeah,
circulation, your heart, everything is interconnected. And so she
yeah,
told me, "Oh, I got type 2." I like we all get that once we African
yeah,
Americans. Once we get
yeah.
over
That
40, the
oh,
first thing we get
yeah,
is high blood pressure, and the next one is type 2 diabetes. It's prevalent in the Black community. It is what it is. Okay, so
and
you got
you
to
can
take
take
care of
care
the
of that
body.
too. Yeah, I took care
Right.
of that early on. I learned the necessity of exercise and good diet. So I don't eat at the truck stops. The Walmart supercenters have a perfectly good produce section and good food. And it just takes a little bit of effort to make your own meals. And I have a little treadmill in my truck so that I can walk and run when I stationary. And I've learned all kinds of body exercise, resistance exercises that I can do when I'm driving and when I have a few minutes. And that's been enough to keep my blood pressure low and eating the right diet. I'm not close to being pre-diabetic or anything. So she can turn that around anytime.
She has to want to, but I don't want to keep telling her this because then she won't want to call me at all. Like she'll figure I'm preaching again. So I just gently say something every now and again, okay? But like I said, I don't want to beat her up about it because she won't call me at all, and I don't blame her. That's why I didn't want to call my own people.
Yeah.
Okay, you're fat. That's the first thing you say. You're fat. Okay, can you say anything nice? Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
what else would you like to talk about? You have a number of things that you can go
Yeah.
into.
Yeah. Um, there's some fundamentals about how we create the change that we know is so desperately needed in our nation. And we have this I'm just I was part of my journey until last year. Uh, I was able to do like voter registration calls while I was driving. I had a list on my phone of numbers to call and I could ask them to vote, so I was doing that kind of stuff, keeping politically aware. And I was really God, I was so hopeful when Kamala was running. It was like, oh my God, we have got a chance to turn this thing around a little bit. And when she lost, I was completely devastated. It occurred to me that as shiny as her image was at the beginning of the candidacy, she got totally bought out by who's ever buying the politicians.
Are
And
you really serious? Are you really serious? Serious? When I knew that Hillary Clinton didn't win, okay,
yeah,
I knew that Kamala didn't stand a snowball chance in hell. I'm gonna
yeah,
call it straight out. For real. I stood in freezing temperatures
yeah,
over 3 hours. And that was the outcome, but I knew that was going to be. I knew they was not going to let her win. If they didn't let Hillary win, what make you think they was going to let Kamala win?
yeah.
Seriously?
Well, yeah, I was buying the Kool-Aid. I bought the Kool-Aid, and
Yeah, right.
they got my donations, and they got my time. And after the election, I thought, well, this whole thing is rigged. I mean,
Yes,
it's
it is rigged.
like they got this whole thing. So I knew there had to be a different way of doing it. So I got in. It just occurred to me that the way the change comes is it's not from top down. It's from grassroots connections of people coming together in community and having this. they call it the matriarchal network. I don't like the word matriarchy because it sounds like it's the opposite of patriarchy, and what you're doing is you want the women to be on top, and that scares the men together. It scares them to death. They're going to do the same thing we did to them. They're going to do to us, which is not what you want to do at all in matriarchy. You want to be able to work together in smaller units and assist each other. In the village, the children are everybody's children. And
I'm sorry. Let me say something because I'll forget. Okay.
yeah,
I apologize. What they don't realize that we are in charge.
yeah,
Okay. That's what I wanted to say to you. We are in charge, and if we don't think we are, then we need to think again.
yeah, exactly.
Who you think run the household?
Yeah,
They don't.
yeah,
Okay, we run a lot of shit, and we need to
yes,
start. We need to wake up and realize it, and take our rightful place.
yes. I discovered that in once my wife at the time, she's from England. She wanted to take a 2-week trip back home, so I scheduled my vacation time to be at home with the kids. And for 2 weeks, I was with them. I could not handle it. All the stuff that she does, that she's been doing for 30 years, it's like it's just natural, and she makes it look easy, but she's 365, 24/7 caring for these children, and I had to do it for 2 weeks, and I fell flat on my face. I was not able to 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 make it work, and we didn't have a good time. And she basically, when she came back, she had to rescue all of us.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And
They take us for granted, but you said better think again. Okay?
yeah.
That's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of.
But it worked so much better when the energy flow is when the man is doing his part providing and doing his protective role of having this container where the family can bloom together. But it doesn't work if he wants her to also take care of him.
Okay,
Yeah,
what did they say? The man's job was he came from Adam, and he's supposed to provide. Okay,
yeah.
in a number of ways.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and not we do all the giving. Okay,
Yeah.
because when I was in the Middle East, okay, when I was in Iraq, women rode in the back of the truck with the animals. They were not allowed to eat with the men.
Woo.
Okay, the women had to eat in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay, so you tell me, every culture really is different how their treatment of women. I was
Yeah.
also in Israel. Okay, this is no offense. I'm not criticizing nobody's culture or nobody's religion. I'm just telling you how it was. Okay, in Israel, the Orthodox. Okay, the women had to walk behind the man. She had to look down. She couldn't look up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then when you're on your administration, whatever, you are considered dirty, and you have to stay
Yeah.
over
Oh
there.
my God.
Okay, and also I was living there. Okay, on Fridays, Shabbat. You know, they turned one of the elevators into you don't touch the buttons. Okay, it'll go to each floor, and the person just get in there. One of the Israelis asked me, "Can you come into my apartment and turn off the TV?" I said no. Because I don't want to go in there and then he'll come out and say, well, she tried to do this or she did that or did this. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. So say, for example, you coming in the elevator with me and you're Orthodox. That's the guys with the curls and with the hats, the black
Oh
hats.
yeah.
Okay.
The big hats.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So they see they see me in the elevator. They're going to get in there. They'll wait until you leave and then they'll go in. I was I was offended by that. I said to myself, don't be offended by that. They follow the Old Testament, okay? And so that's part of that. And I just accept it for what it is. I'm like, okay, bye. I'm going downstairs. I don't care what you do. I'm going downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, no offense. So you learn how to be tolerant of other people's customs and their culture, their religious beliefs and everything, because we all have our own things. Okay, I have my own cross to bear. Okay, you say that's acceptable for you? Good. I accept it. Okay, I'm living in your country anyway. I'm just a visitor. Okay, so I need to shut the hell up. Okay, I don't need to have nothing to say. The less is the best. So, I mean, I go through all these different countries, whether it was in Egypt, whether it was in Jordan, whether it was in Greece, you act accordingly. Okay, otherwise you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. And they're like, look at one of these Americans. They don't even know how to act when they leave home. Okay, so you have to educate, and you have to be professional, and you have to be respectful. You get much more. I'm gonna say you get more flies with sugar than you can with salt. I'm like, yeah, okay, you play the game, okay, and you come back home alive, okay. And so hopefully save yourself some money in the process, because they see it, Americans, they see dollar signs. Back then, oh, we don't get paid, okay? Not here, okay? I only have a certain amount of money to spend, and that's it. I don't give a damn. You tell me it's $10 or $2. Okay, when it's actually probably was only 50 cents. Okay, they gotta find a way to make some money. And I get that, okay? Because that's how they make their money. And all of these uh tourist towns, okay? Then you come back, oh, I spent so much money. What did you expect? You don't necessarily have to go to a tourist town, go to an offshoot. You know what I'm saying? And then you save yourself some money. You still went to France. Who cares if it's a little village over here? People get hung up on titles and, oh, I got Gucci and I got, okay, yeah, you got all that stuff. But in the end, how much did you pay for it? How much money do you have left out of all that, trying to keep up with all the Joneses? Okay, there's a cost associated with all that stuff, and I learned, because every time Apple come out with a new watch or a new phone, I have to be the first one in line. Okay, my phone can last 6 or 7 years until it start working now. Okay, I don't need all that. Okay, be smart, because we have to always have this instant gratification and get all of our needs met. That's superficial. That's still, your needs is still not being met. Okay, just because you go out there and buy that $5,000 whatever, that might make you feel good in a minute. But afterwards, you're like, damn, I shouldn't have bought that shit. I could have kept that money for something else. Okay.
Did
So
you
what's your
get
thought?
to, did you get in your being with the people in so many different countries, did you get to have, heart to heart conversations with the women to
Yes,
just,
yes. And looking at things from their perspective, um, it's different. It's like, how can you sit up and criticize somebody else, you know, and unless you walk a mile in their shoes,
yeah.
shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. You never even experienced it. How the hell you gonna sit up and criticize somebody else and you never left your own hometown? That's what those people like sitting up criticizing, like, baby, shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay? If you went through half of the shit that they go through. You know what I'm saying? With all those mortars coming back and forth. And I had to deal with all of that stuff too. And I'm like, it made me be very humble and very grateful for the life that I had in the United
Yeah.
States. Okay? If I had to go through shit like that on a daily basis, I don't know if I could do it. Really.
Yes. So you got to see the strength, their resilience in they
Yes.
were severely oppressed, but they also managed to find a way to love their children and to keep the cohesiveness among women, even if their men were brutal or whatever.
Well, when life brings you lemons, you make lemonade, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't criticize them. Whatever hand you dealt, you play the hand the best you can play it. Okay? That's all I say. I'm not gonna sit up and criticize nobody else, because somebody come up, you can't criticize me because you don't know what the hell I've been through. So who are you to criticize me? That's my feeling on it. Okay? Until you walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, shut the hell up. Period. I mean, you may not agree, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree. How they treat their women, okay, they can be just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So they have violence, they have murders, they have a lot of things like we have in the United States. Okay? It's life.
Yeah.
And we
So
have to live life to live it to the fullest. A lot of shit we just have to overlook and just turn the other way and say, that don't have nothing to do with me. This is what I need to do, okay, to
yeah,
stay me. Period.
yeah.
I can't worry about what you're doing over there. Can I worry about that? What can I do about it?
Yeah, if that's the intelligence of your body and telling you that, yeah, there's nothing that I see that it's not a good situation, but that is not my service to another human being, and that we need to have that intimate relationship with ourselves to see where we can provide that service. And
Right.
I'm really grateful for Substack that opens up avenues where I can be of service to people like yourself. That your Substack is such a resource for people. Um, I'll just put a plug in for you. I was following you for a while, and I didn't realize how much you were offering, when you subscribe, you send in a few dollars a month. It's like, my God, there is so much here that I did not know, and it is such a wonderful, like your 30-day gratitude, thing that's going on right now. Like like day 21, you talked about divine timing, which was divinely timed because it came at the right time, and just as this interview came at the right time, and how I could see it manifesting in how I work every day, but the block of time to be with you was provided for me. Just because a few days ago we made this appointment, and I said, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to put it out there. It feels okay. But I didn't know until 2 hours before we came on that the block of time was open. And I was just cooperating with what was available to me at the time. And there's also a divine timing in receiving advice. Like before that happened, I had 4 different people that I follow. They all commented on a uh, on something I needed to remember in relation to my reconciliation with my children. It was intimately connected, and that also provide and just being a subscriber to, like, Dr. Megan, it came clear through her, that she had the space to tell me, says, "Dude, you really need to make it right with your family." And I was able to hear that from her because of, all the interactions with her on the Substack, that I could see that she was coming from a good place. And so it's been really helpful, and it gets back to this whole doctor thing, that we're conned into thinking that we gotta have a medical insurance and therapists that we have to pay too much money to, and it's the whole process of this whole so-called mental health aspect of medical, what we call medicine, is just so unresponsive to the actual needs. But here we are in Substack, we're helping each other. We're seeing what we can give to another, and it's really a very beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is, and I can't even add any more followers. Okay, I done added so many more. I have added so many people, so I'm like, okay, it is what it is. People have to follow me, and it's all good, and I love it. And every day we get stronger and stronger together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and it's ironic that Dr. Megan, me, you, Netta Faye, Lamar, and who else know we connected to? And that's what we have to continue to do every day. Every day I'm out there nurturing these relationships because we get a return on our investment. Okay? And we have to continue to expand and to our reach in our network.
Yeah,
Okay?
you've been quite a teacher on being, like, pleasantly aggressive in promoting, yeah, it's like your interview with, you were on with, what's her name? Tripty? Is that her name? The,
Oh yeah,
Oriental-looking
Tripty, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so she
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I mean, you were right there with her, being with what she needed to hear and encouraging her in her own journey. And it was so pleasant to see you two helping each other. Uh, and of course, there was that time when you were with Netta and Dr. Meg, and that was so much fun. The
Yeah,
and
right?
that's one reason I attend these live streams is there is
See?
nothing more fun than these live streams that you ladies put on. It's like this is the TV you wanted to see when you were a kid. It's like, oh, this is fun, and then you can interact and joke around with them, and it's just this is as a truck driver without much interaction with people except as a business transaction. It's really nice to come into human contact.
It is. And you know what, the I haven't watched TV at all since I've been on Substack, because if I want to know what's on in
Yeah,
the news, all I have to do is watch Substack, and it'll tell you. It'll give you a preview of what's, the key highlights. So I don't need TV. When you listen to people that you know, like, and trust, then you can
yeah,
more so believe what they say than what the media say,
yeah,
because they already bought by the politicians in Hollywood and the Christian nationalists or whatever. So the media is all a part of that machine.
yes, yes,
It is what it is, and once people show you who they are, believe it. Okay, okay, you can dupe me maybe once or twice, but you can't dupe me 3 times. Okay, without me recognizing that I'm being had.
Okay, thank you for the warning. I'll be on my best.
No, not me, not me, not me. I keep my that's on the prize and keep working on me and what
Yeah.
I'm doing. And I block out everything else. Okay. Because
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
if you listen to that shit, you're going to be going to the left when you meant to go to the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this brings me back to I think what I was getting into was how does like the Eden, I mean that's what Netta called Dr. Rogel the Eden seer. How does this this new fulfilling society get birthed? And it's like any ecosystem in which the creatures are in harmonious relationships with the other creatures, and they didn't get in that relationship because they read a book or they went to a church or they were they had to sit through 12 years at a desk. They were taught to respond to what their need was, and that need was provided for in the ecosystem. So when they're hungry, they have what they need to eat. When they need to sleep, there's that time to sleep, and they get they get synchronized with the seasons and the day and the
Mm.
night and how things happen. And those are the systems that men can't create. And I think this is one of the beautiful aspects of women is that they're more in tune to how to have those systems together where people can work and shine without having to think they gotta perform in a certain way in order to become the boss to get promoted. That the real proof is that we're relating together in a way which benefits you and benefits me right now.
Yes,
And
can I ask you a question? I hope
yeah,
I don't get canceled. I hope I don't get canceled. So I was listening to somebody earlier, the big empress, and she said there's certain things you shouldn't say. I'm like, what's that? I don't know what that is. Because if I think it, I think I should be able to say it. Okay. I done forgot. Maybe that's a good thing. What was you saying? Okay. What was you saying? Then I'll remember. You were saying something, and it was a thought that came to my mind. Okay, maybe it wasn't meant for me to say, for real, for real.
okay.
I probably said more than I should have today. But anyway, can you remember what you said?
With in relation to what now? Or in our conversation together? Was it
Yeah,
yesterday?
just a few minutes ago. You said something, and I had a profound thought that I was
Oh,
gonna say.
well,
Maybe it's not meant for me to say.
I was talking about this whole idea that scares men of having the women in charge. It's not like the men are in charge. The women create systems which bring offer an environment for everybody to bring their best. Because I remember you mentioning how you could bring really good stuff into your work environment, but it would not be accepted because of
It
all the
wasn't
hierarchy.
accepted.
Yeah,
It wasn't. That's why I stayed quiet
yeah,
because they didn't want to hear from me. They didn't care what I had to say. They
right.
didn't think it was. They didn't think it was relevant,
Yeah,
or I was relevant for that matter. So I'm like, look at these idiots. I'm just gonna stay quiet. Let them do what they do. Okay.
yeah,
I
yeah.
still get. I still get paid regardless whether I open my mouth or shut up. So
Yeah,
I'll stay. Keep my mouth shut.
yeah. And I saw this demonstrated um, by the mother of my children um, when she would relate with the children. I had an idea of what they needed to learn and how to
Okay.
be a parent. So it came off pretty stern. But she taught me this, that she could find out what direction the child wanted to go to and provide a safe environment for the child to investigate at that. So we were blessed that she recognizes that the youngest went into gymnastics and the oldest went into medicine, and then the center one is in technology. But I had all these ideas I'd been taught of what I should make the children in order for them to be successful in this patriarchy, which would have totally hobbled them and confined them into doing things that was one of the nice things about growing up is when my family exploded, I no longer had to live up to their expectations because they had a plan for me. They wanted me going to certain schools and become, a lawyer and all this stuff. And I could throw that aside. And
You know.
so
Oh,
go ahead. Yeah.
that's different than my upbringing. My upbringing is they said you do it this way. You're
y-
going to do this and you're going to do it this way. You
Yeah.
don't have a choice. You
Yeah.
wasn't given a choice.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Yes. Yeah. That's how I grew up too.
because my parents they lived in the South. Okay, my father, Arcola, Mississippi. They said they were ran out of the South, and a lot of black people migrated to the North so their families could have better opportunities. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
they ate everything. They ate things from the rooter to the tutor.
Yeah.
They didn't throw nothing out. They believed in hoarding everything, keeping everything just in case the grid go down. We had water, we had food. We could sustain ourselves in case anything goes wrong. And that's why, I like, okay, because I was talking to somebody recently. They said only buy what you need for that time period. I'm like, I don't understand that because during COVID, I couldn't even get toilet paper. Okay. I told my daughter, I said, I only use what you call that? Not cottonelle. It got 1,000 sheets of roll. Okay. I said, this is the only toilet paper I use. Find it and send it over here. Okay. Because I don't use that stuff over there. Okay. I don't use that. Okay. So she sent me, it had 100 in a and the thing, and that's what I wanted. And somebody said, "No, you don't need all that." Yes, I do, because during COVID, they was charging 3 and 4 times the amount for stuff. They was gouging people during COVID on when I was in Israel, okay? Because I can buy the Israeli stuff, okay? It's okay temporarily, but I want what I want, okay? So I said, I'm gonna get that toilet paper. So I had to spend 2 or 3 times the amount it was worth, but I still got that same toilet tissue. Okay, I still got some rolls left. See, so when people, yeah, right. So when somebody talk about you only buy what you need for that time period, I'm like, I don't understand that, honey. Because I don't want to be going to the store and buy toilet tissue every 2 months. I don't want to deal with that. I buy enough. That's why I got a Costco membership. When I was in Texas, I had Costco and Sam's Club, okay? So I don't want to have to deal with that stuff, because you save more money buying it by bulk than buying it like that, okay? So I listen to them young people. I'm like, okay, go ahead, boo. But she was right, though, because you have to have room to store all of that stuff when you buy it. It's like, oh, okay. So it's like, you listen to people to a point. Then you listen to your intuition. Your intuition said, go on about the toilet tissue, girl. I don't care what she said.
Yeah, there you go. And
because I don't like to drive. I got a car, and I look at the odometer. It's probably got 6,000 miles, and I bought it when I got here, brand new. Okay, and when I came here in 2024 November, if I have 5,000 miles on it, it'll be good. So, I don't like to drive. Period. So it is what it is. And you shouldn't force yourself to do something that you don't want to do, period. And that's where I'm at today. Okay?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, and how's that shoulder? I saw you moving it. How is that okay?
It's gonna have to be until tomorrow. Okay? It's gonna have to be. And if not, I'll just take some more pills, and that's that. You know? I have some ice. Sometimes you can use ice, and sometimes they say use heat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So between the heat and the ice and the pills, it's gonna have to do what it do until tomorrow, when my appointment is due. Okay, I fell, and I had just got over. I told you I had the chiropractor said, "Well, you probably tore a rotary cuff." I like, okay, well, it is what it is. I'm not gonna pay no $1,000 for MRI to find out. Okay, that's what the deductible is gonna cost me. That's not the cost of the actual MRI. Well, that machine is expensive.
So you're
Okay.
meeting with the chiropractor, right? The chiropractor should be able to move your arm in various positions and know what has been stressed. Without an MRI, that the whole MRI thing is probably very likely not necessary, because
Exactly. So I'm gonna see the masseuse first, and then after I leave her, and then the chiropractor will do the correction, twist, and whatever. It's gonna be better. But what happens is the inflammation is sitting in there, and it's sitting on the nerve, and that causes the sciatica. Okay, once you get sciatica, it just aches and aches and aches all day and night, and it's really nothing that you can really do to get relief.
You've reminded me of one of Dr. Meg's guests. This was his thing, was helping people.
Oh, really?
Doc Smith. He's based in Sacramento now. He used to live down in Santa Barbara. He just moved up there with his wife, who's probably expecting their first child soon. And
that's amazing.
He's really excellent. I got to have a session with him, and he has really nice, intelligent hands. But he doesn't need to actually touch you to be able to hone in on the limitations or what might be going on in your shoulder, because he's well versed in kind of the Chinese. I think he called it Chinese medicine. It's based in thousands of years of ancient wisdom. So you might be able to contact him, and he's very reasonable, if not free. I mean, it just depends on what your situation is, but he's really open to talking, and he's on board. The reason why he got interviewed by Dr. Meg is he understands this whole idea of us being able to give away our medicines to each other without having to impoverish each other to be able to get that medicine.
That's the problem with the capitalistic
Yeah,
society. Everybody wants their own cut of the pie, and then by the
yeah,
time everybody else get their cut, then we're paying for all of that. Okay,
yeah,
I'm only gonna pay for what my part is. When I go to the chiropractor, thank God I got Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'll
yeah.
pay $30 copay. Okay, and that'll cover my massage
Oh, there
and
you go.
my chiropractor because he's amazing. I love him. Okay,
Oh,
and
great. Good. Yeah.
we got a good relationship. So
Yay.
I'll pay
Good.
my $30. I go once a month, okay? Because just like we have stress on our minds, we have stress on our bodies from everything that we're doing to it.
Yeah.
So I make sure to go for a monthly maintenance on that because you'd be surprised how much your back and your shoulders, especially when you're going through I was going through all that stress at work, and the masseuse would say, "You got all that stress in your shoulders." And I said, "Well, that's the areas I want you to work on, okay?" All of these things show up in our bodies, okay?
Yeah.
And so we have to find a way to release all of that because
Yeah.
otherwise our bodies and our minds, everything starts breaking down. The
Yeah.
body can only sustain so much. We know that,
You just had
right?
one of the viewers, an advocate for spirit, gave you a suggestion on a thing that actually does help people sometimes. She says, an advocate for spirit says, Margaret, you need a TENS unit, which is sometimes effective. I don't know. Have you used them before?
I don't know, but it sounds scientific. And if it costs any money, we'll have to pass.
Yeah, I think
But I'll look it up.
your chiropractor will probably know about it.
Well, I'm sure he is great, so I don't have to worry about it. He do a correction, and then he also says he pulls my legs. He's like, because one leg is shorter than the other. I like, well, you got to fix that. So he fixed that, and and he'll crack your neck and everything. I come out there feeling like a brand new woman, so I'm not worried about it. It's just a matter
Oh,
of getting
good,
there.
good.
Okay,
All right,
so
great.
yeah, it's great. So I can't complain. So anybody have any questions? You talked up Dr. Meg. She over there. Okay.
Did you say she's here?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh my God!
Why would
Wow.
she not be here? Why would she not be here for you?
Well, cause she's totally unpredictable. I never know what to expect from her, so wherever she
See?
goes is where the spirit leads, and she's always in the right place at the right time. And,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so, um,
Did you have a question for her or something like that?
uh, no, 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 I'm just very, very glad to hear that, she got to hear some of, my glowing praise for her. 'Cause she has been, probably the most important influence that I've learned from in my lifetime. She was right at the right time. I had to go through a lot of stuff,
Okay.
uh, beforehand, but she put it all together
Okay.
in just and I'm so very grateful for that, and it allows me to be here and to reflect the value of what she gave me into what you thought was valuable for me to give with you. So I'm quite grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, because I've learned a lot from Dr. Megan and a lot of powerful people like her. And that's why I like to associate myself with such people because it
Yeah.
gives me something to aspire to. Okay.
Yes. 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 Then one of the remarkable things, and this goes with this aspect of men extracting from women and extracting as part of their what they need to do is she was the first one to demonstrate to me that you don't try and fix the problem. You try and reach the problem solver that's within each of us that knows how to cooperate with the universe to solve the problem. I mean, just if we can make that interconnection with the healer inside, then We don't need the middlemen that are just bankrupting everybody. And we're all conditioned to believe that the doctor knows, that the banker knows, that the politician knows, that the general knows, but they're all separating us from the natural wisdom that unites us and wants us to create Eden together. And this powerful vision connects with everything that we're doing, and we can create this Eden right now, by declining to follow the conditioning that says I need, like you were encouraged to follow to get the MRI. That's what they were taught to tell you, that you needed an MRI and you had to, you had to scramble around to get the money and sacrifice your life. But you knew within you that there was a better way of doing it. And that's our daily challenge, is that the 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 empire is always trying to keep us into our slavery, and we always have an opportunity to say, "Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so this time." I'm scared to death to not do it, but I know if I do it, there's going to be a better way, most likely revealed to me.
It always is. If we just stop and listen, just listen to our intuition, it
Yeah,
will never lead us astray. That self
yeah,
awareness
yeah,
takes us to higher levels of consciousness
yeah,
and high levels of productivity
yeah,
and growth and growth.
yeah. It's just for me, it's just a marvel to find out that we're not separated. Because you hear these words like, we're all one, and it kind of sounds good, but it's like, what do you mean it's all one? I'm with all these people on the freeway, and each one of them thinks they own the freeway, and I'm trying to. We're all separated in our own little cars and our own little world, but that is the lie of empire, that I am separated from all these people around me. That is the lie. And we're conditioned with these lies. Lies, 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 lies. And I'm so grateful that you're here to help us see these lies for what they are and not live by them, and remind us of the abundance that we can live by, because we all live from that scarcity thing, where we think, well, so many people are caught up with this idea of becoming a success on Substack, they really get. I appreciate your advice, but I can see that you're not tied up with this idea that you got to get rich, or you can see that the light still shines through you, even though you had the practical wisdom to be able to have a successful Substack subscription for everybody to subscribe to. You provide a product without getting caught up in the whole money thing. And that is so rare, so rare.
There was a saying that you gain the world and you lose your soul. What good is it?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay? I want to keep that intact because I didn't feel good telling people I'm going to charge you for this thing that I love doing anyway. If I
yeah,
love doing it, why not share it with you too? I gained so much more in the end, return on my investment by doing that. And that's what fills me up. That's why I work for the federal government and I didn't go work in private industry. I didn't go to work for the federal government for money. I did it for altruism, to give back. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and everyone here for saying these wonderful things, because I couldn't be me without all of you supporting me. It's because of you I am a better person than I have ever been in my life. And I couldn't have done that without the Holy Spirit in each of you, including
yes.
including you, Randolph, because I kept hearing, I just kept echoing. I could hear your voice at Dr. Meggs, Netta Faye, Lamar. These things was when you do the connections, you can see clearly. I can see it, and I had to reach out to you because it was the spirits calling me to do that. And you know, we're all interconnected, not by chance.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invite. It's been a delight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank each and every one of you for joining. I know you have to get back, and we will continue our conversations offline. Okay.
Well, I hope so. That sounds wonderful. And I'm looking forward to finding out more and more about what you offer on your Substack because there's so much there. I, I'm mentioning it again because it's it's flabbergasting what some people are offering, and it's so easy to get distracted from a source that that it's part of the universe flirting with us. That here, look at this, participate in this right here. So I'm so grateful that I was able to listen and hear your invitation.
Well, thank you. You know, I have accomplished a lot without me even believing in myself that I could even do it. So it goes to show you, if I can do it, anybody can. Okay? Anything's possible. You just have to believe it's possible
Well,
and do the work after that. You can't just sit there and, you know, twiddle your thumbs. You got to do the work. Okay?
yeah.
So do you have any closing remarks or recommendations or anything like that? Anything on your heart?
Yeah, there was one thing, and if I can just settle down long enough to remember what it is. Yes, we live in a world that wants we can participate in a world that wants our fulfillment. I like that. This is not a where we have to compete and conquer and dominate other people. We don't have to do that anymore. And we can cooperate, collaborate, learn from those that we hear that um it'd be so nice to that it's not survival of the fittest, it's abundance is revealed through recognizing, remembering our connection with everybody else, and that we're all at heart, we're benevolent human beings.
Beautiful.
And the my one care is to care about being right here, to see how I align with that universe that wants to bestow its abundance from me to another or from another onto me.
Brother, thank you. I don't have nothing else to say. And I don't have nothing else to say. But thank you so much. You have been a gift. Really, you have been.
Mm.
We just have to continue to pay attention to the signs. I paid attention to the signs, and I saw the interconnection, and I said, this is an opportunity for you and I to shine together. Okay?
Mm.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna talk to my daughter, and I'll talk to you offline and connect the two of you up together. Okay?
Yeah, we might be able to work something out. I've been on the road for 25 years, so whatever she's into driving, I might be able to recommend a carrier that she would just mesh with perfectly.
She needs that, because she's a beautiful person inside and out, and I only want the best for her. Okay, and everybody else here as well. Okay, so we have to help each other. I'm all about paying it forward, and there it is. Thank you so much, Randolph. I appreciate you. You stay safe out there.
Yeah, thank you, Margaret. You too.
All right, peace. Thank you, everyone. All right, bye.